We've got the all-new Toyota Crown.
This one's kind of confusing.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh man, Hybrid Max, love the power.
It's good, actually.
Yeah.
It's good at the power department. Not so good on the hybrid efficiency part. We'll talk more about that as we go along. Right now, what is under the hood of this all-new Crown?
All Crown models have a hybrid powertrain. We've got the top Platinum model with the Hybrid Max. It's a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder matched to a 6-speed automatic transmission. It gets a combined 340 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque.
So that engine's reserved for the Platinum. The XLE and the Limited models get the good old trusty 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain. It has more power than most Toyota hybrids at 236 horsepower. All models come standard with all-wheel drive.
Here's the good news. You can put regular fuel in this Crown.
All right, let's get into what do you get with this. With a name like Crown, it better come with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. The base trim comes with a 12.3-inch driver display and a 12.3-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto, a wireless charger, a 6-speaker audio system, power front seats with driver seat lumbar support, heated front seats, cloth upholstery, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross-traffic alert.
You want a lot of drive modes, you get a Land Rover. Second only to that, Toyota Crown. A lot of drive modes. There's loads of them. But what else can we put it in?
Gonna put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to find out what's up behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. So there certainly are a lot of pluses with this car. We're going to run through those first. And then there's some kind of head scratchers as to why does this thing even exist?
Yes.
Right now, let's get into the positives. Andrea, the driving dynamics.
Oh, this Hybrid Max powertrain is terrific. This 6-speed automatic transmission shifts smoothly and quickly. The steering is a little bit heavier. I think that for a hybrid, you're getting a little bit of a sporty feel with this. And the cabin remains quiet.
It's got this adaptive suspension on this trim anyway. As I mentioned, there's loads of drive settings. When you put it in its hottest setting, Sport Plus, man, this thing can hustle.
Man, you kick it, it goes.
It goes. If you want to have a sporty sedan without a V6 and marginally better fuel economy, this is what Toyota will sell you.
I really thought when I got into this Crown that it would have more of a floaty feel. That's not the case. Now, keep in mind we are in the more powerful powertrain, so that makes a big difference, but it really handles well, takes corners with ease. The visibility is quite good in this cabin. I mean, you're looking up and over the dash. I like the ride height in here.
The thing is, just like having a turbocharged 4-cylinder, when you put your foot into the turbo, you get way worse fuel economy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with this. You put it in Sport and Sport Plus and you utilize all the power, it doesn't get the efficiency. You got to put it in normal or eco and sit back and be boring to get the good fuel economy.
You know what? I tried to drive it in eco. I tried really hard. I am getting this for a bit of a compromise between fuel economy and performance. That's what draws me to the Hybrid Max.
All right, the outside of this thing is a little different, especially with the two-tone. I don't like the two-tone. I think this car would look so much better in a solid color, especially the back with the black bum. It just looks like it's got a droopy backside. I think the overall shape of the car is really quite handsome, though.
I really wish it was a hatchback. I mean, I'm disappointed in that. I think it would have looked cooler. A sport back like the Audi A7, for example. I think Toyota could have put a bit of a twist on this sedan. The color combo with the black and the red, I'm not loving either, with the black hood, the black roof, the black rear. I would get it in a solid color as well. In fact, I would go with that dark gray.
So the ground clearance, is it really any better than, say, a Camry, Andrea?
It's a little bit better, 5.8 inches of ground clearance. The Camry gets 5.7 inches, the hybrid model. So really not much.
Okay, so a Camry's 5.7, this is 5.8. That's nothing.
No, it's nothing.
It's like a couple of millimeters.
Yeah. However, other sedans offer less ground clearance, and something like the Mustang Mach-E, which is classified as a crossover, has less ground clearance than this. So, I mean, this could be kind of an in-betweener.
So we're going to get into, like, why does this thing even exist?
Yeah.
So why does it exist? So I think what they're going to do, and it's really going to come out when the Camry's introduced, it's going to be about the powertrain. So you want to have a larger sedan. I think, this is what I think, Andrew, you could disagree with me. I think Camry's going to be, they're going to get rid of the 4-cylinder and just go to hybrid as the base. And then the more powerful version will not have this powertrain. This will be kept for Crown. They'll go with the 2.4 liter turbo that we had in the Highlander recently to replace the V6. And then these more powerful versions will be kept for Crown.
Look, you've got to make the Crown special. You can't have the Camry.
You can't have a name like that.
Well, and you can't have a Camry that's priced less than the Crown and give it everything that the Crown has, because then the Crown is going to fail. Who's going to buy this premium full-size vehicle? I mean, I don't really get it. It's a bit of a head scratcher for me why it is even here when we're seeing vehicles like the Nissan Maxima.
Okay, let's just go through them. Nissan Maxima canceled. Toyota Avalon
done.
Canceled. Volkswagen Passat canceled. Volkswagen Arteon canceled in Canada. And then the Stinger's on the chopping block as well. So all large sedans, all gone. And what does Toyota bring out? A large sedan. I don't get it.
And in the US, that Arteon, this is the last year for it, so it's gone from Volkswagen as well. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about the exterior and what it comes with. It comes standard with LED headlights, LED rear combination lights, standard 19-inch wheels, available 21-inch. And this comes with a temporary spare tire, which I think is a pretty big deal.
All right, then we turn our attention to the inside, and as I mentioned, I think you're looking at the future of what is going to be in other Toyota full or large sedans, and I think the design is really quite nice with the dual screens, very similar to what we see in other brands. This looks pretty good.
The center console layout is quite nice in here, and I think that Toyota was really trying to give this a premium feel, and I think that they were almost there. I like the addition of the piping on the seats and the bronze colored accents throughout this, but the driver's side has this really nice soft material, and I thought,
wait a second, what's over here? Plastic, fantastic.
Like, why wouldn't you carry it through? You were almost there.
I don't understand. This to me, like, Andrew and I disagree on this. This to me does not feel befitting the name of a Crown. Now, they don't want to obviously have a Lexus, because then it would be a Lexus, but there's really nothing in here that's any more spectacular than a high-level Toyota in other. Is it Crown worthy? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah,
I think it's Crown in name.
I think you're giving the Crown too big of a name, in my opinion. I think that this has an interior similar to the top trim Grand Highlander, let's say, for example.
Exactly.
With the Lexus shifter, which I think looks really refined.
More on that coming up in Questions, Coffee, and Cars, by the way. Andrea's fetish with the shifter.
I do. I like a good shifter. But I think overall they carried the soft materials into the back. They could have done hard plastic. Look, there's very little high gloss black in here. They've done more of a matte finish, and I think that the comfort level is quite good in here as well.
Let's talk about trims, Andrea, because we're in the top dog, and I'm not that blown away by it, so I can't imagine what the other trims get.
Well, the base model, as we already mentioned, comes with some great standard features, including these screens and wireless
cloth seats.
Yes, that's true. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But if you just move up one to the limited trim, it's going to open you up to so many more features, and it's an extra $5,400 in Canada and $5,600 in the US. So what do you get? Driver's seat memory, leather seats, ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, and a panoramic fixed sunroof. Oh, and one last feature to that limited model is the 11-speaker JBL sound system.
All right. Also coming up in Questions, Coffee, and Cars, why would you spring for this model over the other two hybrids? We'll jump into that in just a moment. Here's me jumping in the back seat. What I'll say is this thing is leggy. There's a lot of legroom. Headroom is okay, but the legroom is aces, and the pitch of the rear seat reminds us of our old Audi A7. You're kind of reclined, so it's really quite comfortable. How does this stack up?
Comparing the Crown to other competitors like the Honda Accord Hybrid and Lexus ES300H. The Crown offers 42.1 inches of front row legroom, which is about the same as the Lexus and Honda. Second row legroom at 38.9 inches is smaller. The Accord has an extra 1.5 inches, and the Lexus almost half an inch more space.
I'm with Andrea. If this had a lift back, it would have been aces. It has a trunk. The opening, it really isn't that big. And underneath, we touched on it already, the beautiful, look at that gorgeous, delicious looking spare tire.
The Crown has 15.2 cubic feet of trunk space, which is a little less than the Honda, but more than the ES300H.
All right, let's get into your questions.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
I put in a deposit for the limited trim for mid-August delivery. Fastest hybrid I can get my hands on. Wow. The Platinum has a lot more power and has adaptive variable suspension. I feel like I'm missing out on power and edge, hybrid technology, along with more comfortable suspension. Do you think the Platinum Premium is worth it over the Limited?
Well, there's a massive difference in power between the regular 2.5 liter that's used in so many Toyota products, from RAV4s to Camrys and so on. This is basically the powertrain that goes in a Lexus.
You're going to find that 2.5 liter powertrain, that hybrid, to be a little bit louder when you're passing on the highway for sure. It's got an eCVT. This has got a 6-speed automatic transmission. So that's a big difference. And then just that extra power.
Okay.
This remains quiet.
All right, Andrea, we don't want to dump on the guy. He's got a Crown booked and he's getting it in August. So enjoy your car. Hey, listen, if you want to trade it in and order this one, and then when it comes in, flip out of it, I'm sure you'll do just fine on the trade-in.
What you will compromise on this Hybrid Max is fuel economy. You're not going to get the kind of fuel economy that you're going to get on the smaller hybrid powertrain. There's a big difference. Hoping to see that Crown Sport SUV in North America in the future.
Well, I think that was the plan all along.
Yeah.
And the only reason why this vehicle showed up under the Crown name is because the Crown always was a sedan. So they can't bring the Crown back and not have a sedan. Historically, that's what they sold. I think that is the final goal.
I hope so. I just don't understand why you would bring the Crown name back to North America if you didn't have a bigger plan. And I think obviously Toyota has something up their sleeves that maybe that they will bring in more models. I mean, maybe a subcompact, maybe a compact crossover. Is there going to be another 3-row SUV? This is a big sedan. Are you guys in favor of those small shifters? I honestly hate them.
Andrea likes them. She's all down with the little knob shifter. This is the last thing I think about on a car. Andrea's like, well, I would get this one because it's got a different shifter. I'm like, does it go into gear?
Things.
That's all I care about.
I totally disagree with that. I want a nice looking shifter. I'm not bothered by this. Initially when I tried it, I thought it was a little bit quirky, the way you have to shift it. But once you get the hang of it, oh man, it's actually kind of fun and sporty. I much prefer this over the column shifter, the button shifter,
and the rotary dial.
Yeah.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
In a world where everybody is looking for SUVs and crossovers, has Toyota done a good job of making a sedan that people might actually gravitate towards? Yeah, it's called the Prius. With up to 6 inches of ground clearance, which is more than this.
If this was a liftback like the Prius, I think it would be much more palatable for people, because you really are sacrificing cargo space. And the thing is, the Prius, they did such an amazing job on that vehicle. Styling's killer, fuel economy's killer. You can get the plug-in, which is the one to get, by the way. This isn't offered with that, but you know what? That's a nice compromise. I just think that the future is another Crown. And this is only here because of it had to be a sedan initially. You
know, and I think the thing about the Prius, the Prime, for example, it's only a front-wheel drive model, so you might want all-wheel drive. You could get the Prius. The Prime top trim is just under $50,000, and the top trim of the Prius is just under $46,000. Throw in the federal EV rebate in Canada of $5,000, and all of a sudden you're getting a Prime for $45,000. Where it falls short is in second row legroom.
It's pretty good though. It's pretty good.
It's good, but if you need more, like you want a real spacious sedan, This is going to give you 4 inches more second row legroom.
All right, I'm going to throw
the Prius. But the Prius has more cargo space.
I'm going to throw one in here. We are now bumping into Lexus ES territory. They also have all-wheel drive in a hybrid, and I think that we're now into Lexus grade, and we're into Lexus pricing, and the thing is, full-size sedans have fallen off a cliff in terms of sales. Look at another one that's gone, Andrew. I just thought of one that was an advanced technology car, ugly as a bus, is the Honda Clarity.
Yeah.
That one's gone too.
It is.
Because people don't want big cars. Anyway, we're going to beat this to death if we keep on going on.
Now, I just want to say that
wait, Andrew's not done. Okay, beat it some more.
One more thing. We got a few comments on Instagram when we put a post out on this. One person said his dad bought the Platinum model and he absolutely loves it because he doesn't want an SUV. Another one said his neighbor bought the XLE model and is loving it because he loves the feel of a sedan.
Oh, it's going to sell. There you go. It's going to sell, but it's not going to sell in big numbers. That's all I'm saying. There will be people out there that want this. All right, let's get into the official fuel economy and what we're getting on this in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. The base trim starts at just over $48,500 and the top Platinum trim just under 63,000 Canadian. In the US, the base model starts at just under $40,000 and the top trim just over $52,000.
Here's the fuel economy for the base hybrid system. 5.6 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 5.7 on the highway. That's 42 miles per gallon city, 41 on the highway. For this hybrid max, it's rated at 8.1 liters per 100 kilometers city, 7.3 on the highway. That's 29 miles per gallon city, 32 miles per gallon highway. In our test drive, we're averaging almost 11 liters per 100 kilometers. Toyota offers a warranty of 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. In the US, complimentary scheduled maintenance is offered for 2 years or 25,000 miles. So you like the idea of a sedan? Andrew has already touched on that. Some people like that. And you want a hybrid, medium to large? What else can you buy?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Honda Accord Hybrid with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and a combined 204 horsepower. It is a starting price just under $39,000.
The Toyota Camry Hybrid with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder and 208 horsepower and a starting price of $35,000.
The Hyundai Sonata Hybrid with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, a combined 192 horsepower and a starting price just over $44,000.
A larger sedan than this is the Lexus ES 300H with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with 215 horsepower and a starting price of $56,000.
So there are 4 hybrid sedans for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I'm such a huge fan of this Hybrid Max powertrain.
Actually handles really well.
I wish Toyota just carried through the soft materials on the passenger side.
This isn't a complaint, it's just something I like to see. I like to see something else in the crown line show up.
Maybe Toyota knows something we don't know. Are sedans back in?
All right, let us know what you think.